أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على خير الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم مصطفى محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته. Muharram is upon us, and we have 10 to 12 nights recalling the tragedy of Abdullah alayhi salam. And every year, we can take certain lessons that we can apply throughout the year, make small connections, even though we may think they're sort of insignificant or we just don't bat the eye to it. But in reality, it does make a difference. When you connect his tragedy, the morals that you learn from him, you begin to see a very completely different light. You start to see the way he was seeing the battle of Ashura. You start seeing everything with morals, you start seeing everything with principles. So inshallah tonight, I'm going to try to draw historical connections between Imam Hussein alayhi salam and different personalities, but especially with the personality of Nabi Isa alayhi salam. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. You ask me who is Hussein. You ask me who is Hussein, I reply the answer is in my insanity. One man in his tragedy inspires Edward Gibbons, MLK, and Gandhi. You ask who is Hussein and what's his legacy. Oh, listener, listen and I'll tell you. I'll tell you of Hussein and I'll tell you of his legacy. I draw to you the scene of his birth. Death over his head loomed like a crown on a king's head. Death over him loomed like a crown on a king's head. Like Jesus' death, Hussein's death is his jewel. Like Jesus' death, Hussein's death is his jewel. In the cradle, Jesus was visited by Persians and Romans. Hussein was visited by angels. Gabriel himself rocked Hussein's cradle. Gabriel himself rocked Hussein's cradle. From this day, this very same child will make angels and millions cry. In his lifetime, a prince. In his lifetime, a prince, wherever he'd go, he'd establish prayer. He spoke God's words and saw God in every action. A man like him could never give his hand to injustice. A man like him could never give his hand to injustice. Why would he, when a king he is to be crowned? To his tragedy I take you, where even Christ would lament, where he sees upon the spear Hussein's head. He wishes to him his soul he would have lent. He wishes to him his soul he would have lent, where he sees the father of freedom torn. He remembers his own tragedy and begins to mourn, for history has repeated itself. Hussein, like Christ, is killed and left all alone. Killed by the same people who unto him called, left alone and torn. But God plans, and they plan, and God is the best of planners. A legacy is Hussein. He proved to the world what is submission, to completely rely on the Lord, and the Lord will make your name recited by thousands. Your name recited by thousands. He proved in his actions that morality and peace is salvation, and all is finite. And to achieve immortality, all must be given. For this world is a prison, and to surrender to tyranny is to chain yourself and drink its poison. Hussein rose from this prison and broke free, and I must do the same and not live under tyranny. Praises be to the Lord whom raises his servants. Praises be to the Lord whom raises his servants. He, the same Lord who created this king, the ship of salvation, the teacher of revolutionaries, the start of every revolution, the grandson of the prophet, the king of gold, the king of angels, the king of Karbala, the king of servants. You ask me who is Hussein. I reply to you, the master of the honored servant. I reply to you, the master of the honored servant. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله وبركاته.